I think one of the most impressive things is the way that you're presenting your work. Not only is the work's fantastic, I mean, there's no question, and this package is phenomenal, and the amount of work that you've put into it is very apparent. But the way you're shooting it and the way you're presenting it, and that takes it over the top. And I think that that's something that, as a hiring professional and a portfolio reviewer, that's something like somebody like me really, really, really appreciates. Because this is a complete package, and there's no questions that are left unanswered going through the work. Now, I've got a few questions and a couple of recommendations and some comments. So, I think that normally, and you probably have heard me say this before, but normally I would say this big yellow, this big orange um, horizontal rule right here, I would say, okay, as we look at this composition here, and we take a look at the three pieces, and one thing is standing out immediately in this composition, and that's that vertical orange rule. I'm sorry, that horizontal orange rule. And normally I would say you might want to take it easy on that because it is clearly something that is overpowering the rest of the stationary system. Although we don't have your envelope. So as you know, an envelope would be part of this. Okay, so, but as I see that as kind of overpowering visually the whole kind of stationary system. So I'm wondering if we can't reduce that or do something. And when I say reduce, I don't mean screen it back. That won't work. I'm wondering about that. It's not too bad at all because basically you're forming these, with your name and design and a negative space between and a negative space below are all kind of forming these horizontal lines anyways. Okay, so that is just adding to that same type of phenomenon that's happening in your layout. So it's not too bad at all. It's not a detriment, but it is certainly is commanding a little more attention than the other pieces. Okay, this is just fantastic. Good shots. Really great shots. Let's go ahead and take a look at the work. I've got it up right here, and let's go ahead and start with the business card. Well, you know how I feel about the business card. I love it. I'm crazy about the business card. I really am. As a standalone, you look at this and there's no issue at all with the orange. But as we look at that other shot, you can clearly see that it's a little bit overpowering in terms of the relationship to the other pieces. Okay, business cards great. Let's take a look at the letterhead. Letterhead. All right, now letterhead. A couple of things going on with the letterhead. Okay, boy, this is tough because I'm a traditionalist, and boy, I would say that logo goes right here because it's just such a prime opportunity for you to introduce yourself on every letterhead at every correspondence by saying, look, the viewer is going to jump in right here anyway. That's where we enter a page. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. That's where we enter a page. So my reasoning is let's exploit that, what we know, and that's the viewer is going to enter right there. So let's take a opportunity and place the logo there to just kind of further brand yourself. So that's the first thing that the viewer sees. Instead, as we can see, as the viewer is going to enter this area anyways, as they do, they're going to kind of look around and go, okay, I guess I will go over here then. Then look at the logo and then make these kind of long eye movements. Okay, so there's going to be a phantom object here anyways, just by default to the fact that that's where we start looking at the page. That could go one of two ways. Either one are not working in your favor. The first is that the viewer goes straight down to the text, and they just passed your logo right over. So that could be an issue. The other issue is that the viewer stops at that phantom resting area, then has to go make this long jump to your logo, and then this long jump back to where the text starts. So either way is not an optimal situation to be in. I'm thinking right there for the logo. I think it would solidify that left margin even further and really open up the page for some tremendous versatility. Not sure about this right here. I think it's great on the business card, but I'm not so sure about the letterhead. It seems a little forced, and it just seems a little heavy down there. I'm also thinking that if we reduce that, let's jump on guide in there, and then we take that left margin and we go ahead and pull your numbers in. So I mean, I'm not real sure if you're breaking the margin purposely, but let me see how we would do that. That margin, those margins look like they're about equal, so you can see that you're pushing the margin on each side and with the logo. So think about that. Okay, leave behind. Fantastic. I love this piece. This is great. Couple of comments though on this. This is all fantastic. I mean, this is home run stuff right here, no doubt. Fantastic. Love it. Really interesting. Super inviting. Really nice tone. Good introduction. Good. You're showing your personality. This is tremendous. Now you start showing the work. I think this is great. The first few pieces are fantastic, but then something happens, and I'll explain that. This is a leave behind piece, which means that these aren't necessarily going to be in your portfolio that you just showed, right? They could be, but not necessarily. If they are, show different images. What you don't want to do is show your portfolio again. So maybe show some different images. And I think, the thing with the leave behind is you don't even have to leave. I mean, it's so cool that you're not trying to describe everything like this is another iteration of your portfolio. You're just saying, okay, this is what this is. Take a look at it. Look at the work. You're not trying to force anything down anybody's throats. You're just saying, okay, look, here's some more work. Check it out. Cool. This is what you get. Check it out. Check it out. Okay. Now, right about here, it's good. That's good one right there. Now, right about here, we're starting to get into like too much looking like a portfolio, because now you're getting into your logo studies, and this piece is okay, but then this piece, it's just too much. It's too much like a portfolio. You just want to drop some quick stuff in here, a quick visual. This is perfect. Quick visual, spark the interest, and move on. Instead of saying, okay, and then here are my logo studies for South Hills Family Dentistry, like we would do in a portfolio. Do you know what I'm saying? That stuff's necessary in a portfolio. You have to show your iterations. You have to show that you know how to work different iterations for the same logo, using the same color scheme, etc. Showing different concept, that's necessary in a portfolio. And a leave behind, it's not. In a leave behind, you just kind of want to say, hey, check this out. Take it or leave it, like it or hate it, but go ahead and move on. Take it or leave it, like it or hate it, go ahead and move on. You don't have to get into all this. I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. I like to leave behind to leave a little mystery. I really do. I like to say, okay, just take a look. Okay, here's an image. Take a look at that. Sometimes I recommend not even putting text in there and just leaving it at that. I think you're using that frame too much. You've used that frame 4 or 5 times. That guy right there. Take these things and mock them up, take a photograph, mock that up in a bookstore on the wall, likewise here in the sports store or something, mock that up, you know what I'm saying? Instead of that same frame, it gets tired. You've used it a lot of times. This right here, this looks good, nice grid. I'm wondering if it's worth breaking the grid to slip that text in there. I don't think it is. I would recompose that, crop, do what you got to do, but get that to fit the grid so you don't have to break the grid by slipping that text in there. I think it creates an inconsistency. This is great. Looking good. Like a little airy. We need a little air here. This is a little congested. I'd say pull this down. All of these lines, this line should probably come down to about here. And then that line maybe. And you know what you can do? You can use things like, you can take different things to use in your logo to measure. Like, for example, the width, the height of the L. So that distance would be the distance between this text and the bottom of the claw or the bottom of the foot. And mathematically, that's going to make a lot of sense. And then maybe the same or the same height for the next line, or you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of a way to measure around your logo. Take something from the logo and use that to measure the distances between different lines of presentation. All right, I didn't mean to take 10 minutes, but this is really awesome. I just wanted to get that all in there. Fantastic job. Love it. Thanks very much, Norm.